Ever wondered if a Massachusetts-based company is actually legit before doing business with them? Maybe you're about to sign a contract, pay a huge invoice, or even jump into a brand new partnership. Well, it's a vital question. But the good news? In just a few clicks, you can verify any business entity's status online, completely avoiding potential fraud. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how.
Welcome to this explainer. Our goal today is simple, but honestly, it's incredibly powerful. We are going to equip you with everything you need to confidently use the Massachusetts Secretary of the Commonwealth's online portal. By the time we wrap up, you'll be able to quickly verify the status, history, and legal standing of literally any business entity registered in the state. Let's get right into it.
Here's our quick roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the MA Corporation's portal. Then, preparing for your search. Third, conducting the actual search. Next, interpreting the results. And finally, additional actions and resources.
All right, Section 1, the MA Corporation's portal.
So before we just jump in and start clicking around, it really helps to understand what we're actually working with here. This database is maintained by the Corporations Division of the Secretary of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Think of it as the ultimate source of truth. We're talking real-time public records for roughly 215,000 active corporations, plus over 200,000 LLCs and partnerships, as well as nonprofits and professional corporations. And honestly, the best part? It's a completely free, publicly accessible tool.
Moving on to Section 2, preparing for your search. Okay, so you basically have two main ways to hunt down a business. An entity name search is great for, broad research, but it usually means you'll be testing a few spelling variations to find what you want. On the flip side, the identification number search is highly precise. See, the state assigns a unique 9-digit ID number to every single registered entity. If you happen to have that exact 9-digit number, maybe from a contract or an invoice, use it. Your search is going to pull up your target instantly. Zero guesswork required.
Think of this prep work like pulling a routine background check. Step 1, clearly identify your target business. Step 2, gather up any potential spelling variations or typos. Why? Because what a company calls itself on their slick marketing website might actually be slightly different from their official legal paperwork. And finally, Step 3, just take note of their corporate designators, stuff like LLC or Inc.
Now here is an absolutely crucial tip. When you're searching by name, you actually want to leave those designators out. The Massachusetts system treats terms like LLC or Inc. separately. So if you type LLC into the main search box, it might actually hide the exact business you're looking for, especially if they used a different abbreviation on their original filing. So just drop them for the best results.
All right, let's get to the fun part. Section 3, conducting the search. Navigating this portal is actually super straightforward. First, you're going to visit the official MA Corporation search portal. Right at the top, select your search method. We'll go with entity name for now. Next, type in the business name and choose a search modifier from the drop-down menu. This just tells the system how to look for the words you typed. Then, simply hit that Search Corporations button and let the database do its thing. This drop-down menu brilliantly shows just how flexible this tool really is. If you pick Begins With, you'll get names starting with your search term. Exact match? Well, that requires absolute perfection. But if you're striking out, try Full Text. That looks for your term anywhere inside a company's name. Oh, and there's also SoundX. This is a total lifesaver. It finds names that sound similar to your term, which is absolutely perfect if you're dealing with a confusing name or a tricky typo. And hey, don't worry about hitting the Shift key. The system completely ignores capitalization. So whether you type Boston Tech in all caps, all lowercase, or a messy mix of both, it yields the exact same results. It also mostly ignores special characters, keeping the whole process pretty stress-free.
Okay, Section 4, interpreting the results. Once you click on a company, you hit the Business Entity Summary page. This page is basically a goldmine, broken down into a few key sections. Identity information confirms the exact legal structure and ID number. Contact an agent tells you where legal notices actually have to go. And perhaps the most important one, corporate management. This lists the officers, directors, and authorized signers. Why does that matter? Because it tells you exactly who is legally allowed to sign binding contracts for that company.
You're also going to want to look really closely at the entity's status. Seeing active or good standing, that is the ultimate green flag. It means the business has filed all their required annual reports, paid their fees, and they are fully authorized by the state to operate and enter into agreements. You're good to go.
Conversely, if you see not in good standing or inactive,
That is a massive red flag. It literally means the business failed to meet state requirements. Usually they just missed an annual report deadline. But businesses in this state face real operating limitations when that happens. Doing business with an inactive entity? Yeah, that poses some significant contractual risks for you.
Now, if the status says dissolved, forfeited, or revoked, the situation is way more severe. This means the entity has been formally ended. It no longer exists under Massachusetts law. If a business stays inactive for too long, the state will step in and administratively dissolve it. And here's the kicker, anyone trying to act on behalf of that defunct company might actually be on the hook for personal liability.
And what is truly mind-blowing here is the sheer cost of non-compliance. For Massachusetts corporations, missing an annual report is not just a slap on the wrist. After a quick $25 late fee, penalties can skyrocket to a staggering $200 per day. The longer it sits, the more expensive it gets to reinstate, which is exactly why checking this database is an absolute must.
Finally, let's wrap up with Section 5, Additional Actions and Resources.
So right at the bottom of that entity summary page, there's a button to view their filings. Do not skip this. You can view the entire chronological history of the business, all the way back to their initial organization. You can actually download the exact PDFs of those documents for free. You can also request official certificates of good standing, though there is a fee for that, or even hop over to check for UCC liens against the business's assets.
Quick pro tip here, if you're a legal professional or just someone who does a lot of filings and orders a lot of certified copies, the state has this account on file service. It's super handy. You create a secure account, store your payment info, and it streamlines the whole process so you aren't punching in your credit card for every single state transaction.
Now, before we finish up, I really need to clear up a super common misconception. Just because an entity is listed as dissolved or inactive on this portal does not mean their tax obligations have magically vanished. Corporate registry status and state tax liabilities, they operate on completely independent legal tracks. Always keep in mind that this search tool only gives you the registry side of the story.
And as a quick disclaimer, website functionalities, filing fees, and state regulations absolutely can and do change over time. You should always verify the most current procedures directly with the MA Corporations division. And of course, everything in this explainer is for educational purposes. It's not a substitute for official legal advice. We have covered a lot of ground today, from mastering those search modifiers to translating all that dense government jargon into plain English. So, now that you hold the keys to the Massachusetts Corporate Registry, what hidden details will your first search uncover? I highly encourage you to jump onto the portal and try a search for yourself. Make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with our other guides so you can stay informed and confident in all your business dealings. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.